Sometimes, the hardest truth to accept is that not every relationship is meant to last. We often try to hold on, despite knowing deep down it's time to let go. But here's the thing. When we finally free ourselves from the grip of something that wasn't working, it feels like a weight lifted off our shoulders. It's the beginning of something new, something better, something that was always meant to be. And in that moment, when we realize we deserve more, the world opens up in ways we never imagined. The Joker's speech isn't just about humor. It's about hitting those uncomfortable truths that we often avoid. It's about telling ourselves the things we need to hear, even when we don't want to listen. Because the truth is, life doesn't wait for us to be ready. It pushes us, challenges us, and sometimes forces us to face the things we've been avoiding. And one of the most important things you'll ever have to face is your own worth. We've all been there, caught in a relationship where we believed we were doing everything right. We gave our time, our love, our loyalty, and in return, we hope for the same. But reality often doesn't work that way. You might have given all of yourself to someone, thinking it would be enough, but they weren't the person who could see your true value. You were settling, perhaps without realizing it, for something that wasn't aligned with who you truly are. That's when the illusion of love starts to break down, and the reality of who you are, what you deserve, and what you need becomes clear. It's painful to accept that what we thought was love wasn't really love at all. But it's also liberating, because once that illusion shatters, you're left with the raw truth. You are enough, and you always were. You were just waiting for someone to recognize it, and if they couldn't, then it's their loss, not yours. There's a certain power in letting go. It's not weakness, it's strength. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about acknowledging that something isn't serving you anymore and choosing to move forward. Letting go is an act of self-respect. It's about saying to yourself, I deserve better, and I'm willing to walk away from what's hurting me, even if it means walking alone for a while. In that moment of release, you might feel vulnerable. You might feel lost. But those feelings are temporary. They're just signs that you're stepping into something new, something bigger, something more aligned with who you truly are. And as you move forward, you'll see that the void they left was never meant to be filled by them in the first place. It's meant to be filled by something greater, something that will bring out the best version of you. The thing is, we often don't realize our own worth until we're forced to look at ourselves from a new perspective. We spend so much time pouring ourselves into others, trying to fix their problems, meet their needs, and be everything for them. But in doing so, we forget the most important thing. We need to be everything for ourselves first. Your worth isn't dependent on anyone else. It's not defined by how much you can give or how much others love you. Your worth is intrinsic. It's built into your DNA, and it's time you started recognizing it. When you start to see yourself for who you truly are, a powerful, capable, worthy individual, you stop settling. You stop chasing after love and validation from people who don't appreciate you. Instead, you begin to attract people who see your worth and respect it. You begin to build relationships that nurture you, not drain you. And you realize that being alone isn't a curse. It's a blessing. It's the time you need to rediscover your own power. One of the hardest things about losing someone is the time it takes to heal. The wounds might take longer than you expect to close, and that's okay. Healing isn't a linear process. It's messy, and it's different for everyone. But with time, you'll begin to see things more clearly. You'll start to understand why things happened the way they did. You'll see how much stronger you are for having walked through the fire. And as time passes, you'll realize something else. You are whole. You are enough. You always were. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right love will come when you're ready to receive them. But first, you have to be ready to let go of what's not serving you. You have to trust that you're worthy of something better, something that aligns with your soul. When you step out of the shadow of a past relationship, you'll begin to see the world in a new light. The person you were before doesn't exist anymore. Not in the same way, at least. You've grown, you've learned, and you've evolved. You become someone who knows their worth, who refuses to settle, and who understands the importance of self-love. The new you doesn't fear being alone because being alone means you have the space to grow, to heal, and to become the best version of yourself. And when the right people come into your life, they won't be there to fill a void. They'll be there because they recognize the greatness within you. They'll be there to walk beside you, not to rescue you. Losing them was painful, yes, but it was also the best thing that could have happened to you. Because it opened your eyes. It showed you that you deserve more. And once you see your worth, once you truly understand it, nothing will ever be the same. You'll stop chasing after people who don't see you, and you'll start attracting the people who do. You'll stop compromising your values and dreams, and you'll start living life on your own terms. The Joker's speech is a reminder to never settle for less than what you deserve. You're worthy of love, of respect, of happiness, on your own terms. So stand tall, embrace your journey, and remember, losing them wasn't a loss, it was your greatest blessing. A statement that echoes with both pain and power, a realization that often takes time to sink in. It's a truth so deep that it hits like a storm, shaking the very foundations of your heart. But why does it often take us so long to truly accept this? Why do we hold on to people who pull us down instead of lifting us up? And more importantly, why do we forget that we deserve more? The Joker's speech, in its most raw form, is not just about the sharp humor, not about making light of the darkest corners of the human soul, but it's about understanding life and its complexities. It's about facing the truth head-on, even when that truth hurts. The truth is, sometimes the hardest thing in life is letting go. We spend so much time trying to hold on to people, situations, and dreams that no longer serve us. But in reality, letting go is where the real power lies. A love lost. When we lose someone, especially someone we thought we couldn't live without, the pain feels unbearable. It's like a part of us has been torn away. But the reality is that loss was not as much of a loss as it was a blessing, wrapped in the guise of hardtack. Think about it. You were stuck in a cycle, perhaps hoping things would change, perhaps believing that the love you were giving them was enough to heal their brokenness. But what about you? What about your healing? In the chaos of trying to make your relationship work, you forgot about the most important relationship of all, the one with yourself. You kept giving, even when you had nothing left to offer. And in that sacrifice, you lost sight of who you really are and what you truly deserve. But now, as you step back from the wreckage of that relationship, you begin to see it clearly. They weren't the one who would elevate you. They weren't the one who would bring out the best in you. But you always had the potential to shine on your own. Losing them was painful, but it was also a wake-up call. It wasn't just about them. It was about you. How long had you been settling for less than you deserved? How many times had you overlooked the red flags, convinced yourself that things would get better or worse, that you didn't deserve better? The truth is, you deserve someone who sees your worth, who cherishes you for exactly who you are, flaws and all. And if they couldn't see that, then perhaps their absence in your life is a blessing in disguise. As time goes by, you begin to realize that the emptiness you feel isn't about them. It's about you finding the strength to fill that void with something much more powerful: self-love. You deserve love that doesn't require you to change who you are. You deserve respect that doesn't come with conditions. And more importantly, you deserve peace. Sometimes, the greatest act of self-love is letting go of the things and people that no longer serve your growth. The Joker's speech is all about embracing that freedom. It's about recognizing that by holding on to the wrong people, you're blocking the right ones from entering your life. Think about it. When you're focused on fixing someone else's broken pieces, you're not giving yourself a chance to heal. But when you choose to walk away from the toxic, the draining, the manipulative, that's when you finally make space for the life you were always meant to live. Letting go is not easy. It's not something that happens overnight. But as you take those first steps toward freeing yourself, you begin to realize that the chains that once bound you were never really as strong as you thought. They were made of your own fears, your own insecurities, and your own doubts. But now, with every step, you're shaking them off. Once you shed the weight of a toxic relationship, you start to see the world with fresh eyes. You begin to discover what truly matters to you. No longer consumed by the past, you can now focus on the future, on your future. You realize that the journey you are on is not one that requires validation from anyone else. It's your journey, your path, and the best part, you get to choose who walks alongside you. Your dreams, your goals, your desires, none of those should be dependent on another person. The beauty of life is that it's entirely in your hands. The Joker's speech isn't just about cutting out toxic people. It's about empowering yourself to take full control of your narrative. It's about reclaiming your power, your peace, and your happiness. So when you look back at the person who walked away from you, instead of feeling anger or regret, look at them with gratitude. For they did you a favor. They freed you from the shackles of mediocrity, from a life that wasn't meant for you. You were meant for something greater, something more fulfilling. And now you're free to chase that. You see, the journey isn't about never feeling pain. It's about learning to rise every time you fall. It's about realizing that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's approval. You are whole. You are complete. And once you recognize that, you'll see that everything you lost was never truly yours to begin with. In the quiet moments after the storm, when everything settles, that's when the magic happens. That's when you discover who you truly are. Not who you were in relation to someone else, not who you were in the shadow of another person's presence, but who you are at the very core of your being. You are strong. You are capable. You are worthy of everything good that the world has to offer. And most importantly, you deserve to be surrounded by people who elevate you, who encourage your growth, and who love you in a way that allows you to be your true, authentic self. So the next time you find yourself reminiscing about the past, wondering what could have been, remember this: losing them wasn't a curse. It was your blessing. You always deserve better, my dear. And now that you've made space for something greater, the world is yours to conquer. In the quiet moments of reflection, it's often hard to grasp the magnitude of those words. They may seem like a mere statement at first glance, but they carry a weight that's been formed through years of experiences, heartbreaks, and self-discovery. The loss of someone, especially someone who was once considered irreplaceable, can be excruciating. The ache in your chest, the feeling of emptiness, and the overwhelming sense of longing, they're all very real. But in time, as you learn to navigate the storms within you, those words begin to take on new meaning. And eventually, you come to understand that losing them was not the disaster it appeared to be, but rather the very thing that set you free. It's a painful truth. Sometimes, the people we love the most are the very ones who hold us back from becoming who we are meant to be. Sometimes, it takes a great loss to push us toward the greatest transformation of our lives. And in the aftermath of that loss, we realize something profound. We always deserve better. And that better has always been within us, waiting for us to see it. We all want to believe in fairy tales, don't we? The idea that love conquers all, that two people can overcome any obstacle if their love is strong enough. But as we grow older and experience the complexities of life, we begin to understand that love isn't always the answer to every problem. Sometimes, love becomes an illusion. It becomes a crutch we lean on, a false sense of security that keeps us trapped in unhealthy dynamics. How many of us have stayed in relationships long past their expiration date, telling ourselves that things will get better, that love will somehow make it all right? We've all been there, holding on to someone or something that was never meant for us. We're taught to never give up, to fight for love, to make it work. But what if, in doing so, we lose ourselves along the way? What if, in fighting to keep someone in our lives, we're only sabotaging our own happiness? The illusion of love is powerful. It convinces us that our worth is tied to another person. It convinces us that we can't live without them, that we need them to feel complete. But this is where the lie begins. The truth is, you were whole before you met them, and you'll be whole after they're gone. Love should enhance you, not define you. When you lose yourself in someone else, you lose sight of who you truly are and what you truly deserve. Letting go isn't easy. In fact, it might just be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. We're taught to hold on, to never give up, and to believe that love can change people. But sometimes, no matter how much love we give, no matter how hard we try, people don't change. The only thing that changes is us, the way we view ourselves, the way we see our worth, and ultimately, the way we see the world. When you finally let go, there's an initial feeling of freedom, but that feeling can be followed by waves of doubt and pain. You might question your decision. You might second guess whether you made the right choice. The voice in your head may try to convince you that you were wrong, that you made a mistake by walking away. But that's just the fear talking. That's just the remnants of a past attachment trying to pull you back into the past, back into the cycle of disappointment and unfulfilled promises. But remember this: letting go doesn't mean you failed. It means you've found the courage to move forward. It means you've chosen yourself over a relationship that wasn't serving you. And that, my dear, is the first step toward reclaiming your life, your power, and your happiness. Self-love isn't a buzzword. It isn't a trend. It's the foundation upon which your entire life should be built. Without self-love, nothing else will ever fall into place. When you love yourself, you stop accepting crumbs. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop believing that you need someone else to complete you. And this is where true freedom begins. Loving yourself isn't about being arrogant or selfish. It's about recognizing your own value. It's about understanding that you deserve respect, happiness, and peace. It's about knowing that you are worthy of the best that life has to offer, and that you don't need to chase after people who don't appreciate you. Self-love is the silent rebellion against the world that tells you to be smaller, quieter, less than who you truly are. In the moments of quiet solitude after a relationship ends, you may feel a sense of emptiness. But it's not the emptiness of loss, it's the emptiness of potential. It's the space in your life that is now open for something greater to come in. It's the room you've made for self-discovery, growth, and healing. And when you begin to fill that space with love for yourself, you'll see that it was never really empty at all. It was just waiting for you to realize your own worth. The past can be a heavy weight to carry, especially when it's filled with memories of someone who hurt you. We'll often try to keep the past alive, holding on to old grudges, regrets, and hurts because they give us something to cling to. We think that by holding on to these emotions, we can somehow keep a part of that person or that relationship alive. But the truth is, the more we hold on, the more we keep ourselves chained to something that isn't meant for us. When you release the past, you free yourself. You release the anger, the sadness, the what-ifs, and the could-haves. And in doing so, you open yourself up to the present, to the possibilities that await you. Releasing the past isn't about forgetting. It's about accepting that it's over. It's about understanding that you've learned the lessons you needed to learn, and now it's time to move forward. The future is waiting for you, a future filled with opportunities, growth, and new experiences. But you can't fully embrace it until you've let go of what no longer serves you. Only then can you step into your true power, your true potential, and your true happiness. Letting go requires strength you might not even realize you have. It's easy to stay in familiar places, even when those places are toxic. It's easy to keep holding on because we fear the unknown. But in letting go, you're choosing to trust yourself. You're choosing to believe that you are capable of moving forward, even when the path is unclear. You're choosing to believe that something better is waiting for you. The true measure of strength isn't in how long you can endure something painful, but in how willing you are to walk away from something that doesn't serve your highest good. True strength is knowing when to stay and fight, and when to walk away with your head held high. True strength is in trusting that your future is brighter than your past, and that you deserve better than what you've settled for. After the storm, there is always a rainbow. After the chaos, there is always calm. And after the pain of letting go, there is the beauty of new beginnings. When you free yourself from a relationship that was holding you back, you create space for new experiences, new people, and new opportunities. You open the door to a life that is yours to create, a life filled with endless possibilities. The beauty of new beginnings is that they are untarnished by the past. They are pure, fresh, and full of potential. And you, my dear, have everything it takes to make them beautiful. You are capable of creating a life that is filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. You are capable of attracting relationships that support and nourish you. And you are capable of becoming the best version of yourself, one step at a time. When you lose someone, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel the pain of loss. But don't let that pain define you. Don't let it be the story you tell yourself. Instead, let it be the turning point in your life. The moment you decide to put yourself first, the moment you realize that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. You always deserved better. And now, you know that. And now, you're ready to embrace the better that's coming your way. Because sometimes, losing the wrong people is the best thing that can happen to you. It makes room for the right ones to enter. It makes room for the life you were always meant to live. This statement, simple yet profound, holds a truth that often takes years to fully comprehend. We've all been there, caught in the whirlwind of emotions after a relationship ends. In the moment, it feels like the world is crashing down, and all we can do is look at the pieces of what once was, wondering how it all unraveled. We asked ourselves, why couldn't it have worked? What did I do wrong? We carry the weight of these questions, thinking that perhaps we were the ones who failed. But the truth is, sometimes the end of a relationship is not a failure. It's a necessary step toward the life we're meant to live. When someone leaves your life, it may feel like a loss, but in reality, it's a blessing. It's an opportunity to rediscover yourself, to heal, and to find the strength within you that was always there, perhaps buried under the weight of someone else's expectations. And as time passes, you begin to understand that you didn't lose something. You gained the freedom to be yourself again, to chase after your dreams, and to live a life aligned with your true self. You always deserved better, and now you're finally realizing it. For so many of us, the idea of letting go is terrifying. We convince ourselves that the end of a relationship means the end of happiness. We feel like we've invested too much time, too much energy, too much love, to simply walk away. So we hold on. We hold on to the hope that things will get better, that things will change, that the love we give will be enough to fix everything. But the truth is, sometimes holding on becomes a form of self-sabotage. The longer we hold on to something that isn't working, the more we lose sight of ourselves. We start to lose our sense of identity. We begin to mold ourselves into what we think the other person wants or needs, rather than remaining true to who we are. We sacrifice our happiness, our peace of mind, and even our self-worth in an attempt to make the relationship work. But deep down, we know it isn't healthy. We know it isn't right. Yet we stay, because we fear the unknown, because we don't want to face the pain of letting go. The moment you choose to let go, you are choosing to prioritize your own well-being over the comfort of familiarity. It's not easy, and it takes courage. But the truth is, you are not meant to stay in a place where you are not valued or appreciated. You deserve more. And when you choose to walk away, you make space for the better things that are waiting for you. You make space for the life that you are truly meant to live. The process of letting go is intertwined with the journey of recognizing your own worth. For so long, you may have sought validation from the person you were with, thinking that their love or approval defined your value. But that was never true. Your worth is intrinsic. It is not dependent on anyone else. It is not determined by how much love you give or how much love you receive. Your worth is in who you are, your uniqueness, your strength, your kindness, your intelligence. You are worthy, not because of anything someone else did or didn't do, but because of the person you are at your core. In the silence that follows a breakup, when the noise of the past begins to fade away, you may begin to hear the voice of your true self. It's the voice that tells you that you are enough. It's the voice that reminds you of your potential, your talents, and the greatness that lies within you. And as you listen to this voice, you start to realize something profound. You don't need anyone's approval to feel worthy. You are enough, just as you are. When we're caught up in the whirlwind of a relationship's end, it's difficult to see beyond the immediate pain. It's easy to get lost in the questions, the what-ifs, the could-have-beens. But the healing process begins when you accept that things are over. The end of a relationship is not the end of your story, it's merely a chapter that is closed. And in order to move forward, you must allow that chapter to close completely. There's no room for growth if you're constantly looking backward, holding onto the past and replaying the same moments in your mind. Letting go isn't about erasing memories or pretending that the relationship didn't matter. It's about acknowledging the lesson it taught you. It's about understanding that everything that happened, no matter how painful, was a part of your journey. It shaped you into the person you are today, and it prepared you for the future that lies ahead. The end of one chapter simply makes room for the beginning of another. And while it may not always be easy, embracing the future with open arms is the key to healing. After the end of a relationship, there's often a period of loneliness, a time when you're left alone with your thoughts, your emotions, and the pieces of your heart that need to heal. And in this solitude, it's easy to feel like something is missing. We may think that we need another person to complete us, to fill the void that has been left behind. But here's the truth. That void is not something that can be filled by someone else. It's a space that you need to fill for yourself. Solitude is not the same as loneliness. In fact, solitude is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth and healing. It is in these quiet moments that you can reconnect with yourself, rediscover your passions, and rediscover your own worth. It is in solitude that you begin to understand that you don't need anyone else to feel complete. You are already whole. Choosing yourself is one of the most empowering decisions you can ever make. It means putting your own needs first, prioritizing your happiness, and refusing to settle for anything less than you deserve. It means recognizing that your happiness, peace, and fulfillment are not dependent on someone else's actions or approval. When you choose yourself, you reclaim your power. You stop allowing external circumstances to dictate your worth, and instead, you take control of your own narrative. Choosing yourself also means setting boundaries. It means no longer tolerating toxic behaviors, unhealthy dynamics, or relationships that drain you. It means recognizing when something isn't serving you and having the courage to walk away from it, even if it's difficult. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary for your well-being. And once you choose yourself, you begin to attract the people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your true desires. As you walk away from what no longer serves you, you begin to see that the world is full of possibilities. The future, once clouded with uncertainty, now appears open and full of promise. The beauty of new beginnings is that they are free from the baggage of the past. They are fresh, unmarked, and full of potential. And this is where your power lies. When you step into a new chapter of your life, you do so with a deeper understanding of yourself and what you need. You know your worth, and you know what you're capable of. You no longer need to seek validation from others because you already recognize your own value. And as you continue to grow, you'll attract the people and opportunities that align with your new energy, your new vision for your life. In the end, losing someone isn't really a loss. It's an opportunity for growth, self-discovery, and empowerment. You've always deserved better, and now, you're ready to receive it. The pain of loss, while real and valid, doesn't define you. It's just a stepping stone on your journey to becoming the best version of yourself. The Joker's speech is a reminder that your worth is not defined by anyone else's opinion or actions. You are enough. You are deserving of love, respect, and happiness. And when you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for something better to come into your life. So stand tall. Walk forward with confidence. The best is yet to come.